Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to D and Z TV. It is yet another interesting and wonderful opportunity for all of us to meet as one big family. As a matter of fact, so much has been happening lately in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. So much has been happening. For some time right now, we've actually been telling you that Olori Naomi has been confirmed that she's coming back to the palace. Yes, our queen Olori Naomi has been preparing to come back to the palace. Everything has been concluded as all factions have come together to agree. As a matter of fact, Olori Naomi should come back to the palace. And to actually seal all of that, a wedding was planned. Yes, a wedding was seriously planned. Another wedding between the Ooni of Ife and Naomi was actually scheduled to hold tomorrow, being the 30th day of June 2024. But this morning, things actually went south as we heard that the wedding has been cancelled. A wedding has been cancelled just 24 hours before the wedding, and people are beginning to talk. As a matter of fact, this past week has actually been filled with splendid, big weddings. The first wedding that happened was actually between Davido and Choma, a relationship that has been together for close to 10 years. And not just a few days ago, we also heard that Nollywood superstar Sharon Oja also tied the nuptial knot with a billionaire. So right about now, we're also expecting another wedding this Sunday by Queen Naomi and her estranged husband, the Ooni of Ife. It was actually supposed to be the wedding of the decade, as everything has been concluded and done and sealed. But guess what? Things now did not happen as it should, as the wedding was actually postponed. The wedding was postponed this very morning. That's actually one of the biggest shockers we woke up to see this morning, that the wedding of the Ooni of Ife has been postponed. So we now started investigating to find out what actually happened. How can the royalty, how can the royal family like this now postpone a wedding that is just barely 24 hours? And our team of investigators were actually able to come up with a couple of facts that were the main reasons. There are other reasons, but this ones now were actually the main reasons that now caused the wedding to be postponed. Now, one of the reasons that was given was actually from Naomi's mom. Naomi's mom said the fact that the other Oloris, are still in the palace is a no-no for her. People now come begin to wonder that, okay, so they were actually of the opinion that the Ooni should do away with all the other Oloris. It does not matter what tradition says. It does not matter how the status quo has been. All what he wanted was to make sure that all the other Oloris are no more in the palace, so that Naomi can now have the impetus to now walk into the palace in grand style. That actually did not really sit so well with a lot of people, because people are of the opinion that but these people, this Naomi's family understands that the Ooni is a royalty, he's a monarch, and as a monarch in the African context, he's actually entitled to more than one wife. So why is that one now coming to be an issue? It's not supposed to be an issue, because as far as I'm concerned, this marriage was already done and dusted. You cannot just call a wedding, call off a wedding. And I heard a lot of people have even traveled for that wedding. People have traveled from all walks of life, because Ooni is not a child. Ooni is not a baby. Before Ooni will come for a wedding, you should know that this one is actually a very big wedding. So, but for him to now come the way it is like this and just call it off like this, is actually something that gives some serious worry. So now they said because the Oloris are still in the palace, so which means Ronke should go, Miriam should go, Ashley should go, Elizabeth should go, Peju should go. All of them should just vamoose. Then the wedding can continue. And from what they are saying, they say if all of these things can be done today, then there's a possibility of the wedding to happen today. But I mean, what are you going to tell guests? Are guests just going to be roaming around the street of Ile-Ife waiting for a wedding to happen? It is actually not a very good thing for us that they could wait until now before the wedding was cancelled. So the second reason that was also given for the cancellation of the wedding was that the elders of Naomi said it's supposed to be in the lady's house, not the man's house. You know, tradition is actually different in tribes. There are some tribes that tradition says the wedding can happen in the man's place. There are other traditions that says the wedding must happen in the lady's place. And in this case now, the elders of Naomi have said that the wedding is supposed to happen in the lady's place, not the other way around. So now there are also plans of now beginning to shift the canopy. If it's possible for them to now carry canopy now, quick, back to Naomi's house, which means the wedding can happen. But if the canopy remains in the palace, then the possibility of that wedding is very, very, very far. You know, I think that the things are not too difficult. There are things that, you know, under normal circumstances, if they're a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, they can actually have an understanding so that this marriage can continue. Because the truth about the matter is, this marriage is supposed to hold. People have traveled. People have shown a shebi, you know. Some people are even still waiting in the tailor's place right now. There's a woman who has had a cutlass in waiting for the tailor to make sure he finishes the dress. And the name of the tailor is Abigail. The name of the tailor is Abigail. Somebody is there waiting with the cutlass to see that, is this this wedding? I must not miss this wedding. There's a couple that even came all the way from Cameroon. Agbonkana woman's here. He came from Cameroon. He's actually waiting to collect his cloth. And now the cloth is not ready. So now what is going to happen? People are angry. Some from first class have even traveled all the way from outside the country just to be part of this wedding. And right about now, they say the wedding cannot hold again. It's actually a very terrible day. Even for some of us that are fans, I even went to the park this, but I saw some people in the park trying to see how they can navigate their way to Ile-Ife because there's no flight. And yet, they now say there's no more marriage. Oh my God. Who do us this thing? Who do us this thing? What are we going to do? This is not a very good time for all of us at all. It is actually not a very good time. So we are all asking and begging that please, all those who know what they need to do, who have all the logistics, who have all the technical know-how to fix all of these issues, should please jejely try and fix them so that peace can return in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. Because right now, we actually need peace. Peace is all we need. Peace that passeth all understanding is actually what we need to activate the next level of this marriage. Because the truth about the matter is, we want Naomi to be happy. We also, the in-laws, we also want to be happy. And now, the final reason that was also given for the cancellation, the postponement of this marriage is the fact that Pastor Jerry Eze actually gave a very sound warning that he's not too comfortable with the way that he actually saw Naomi wearing a white gown. Then in that white gown, people were just all around crying. That was a prophecy that came. And you know, when somebody wears a white gown, people are crying. It signifies something not too nice and something not too good. So therefore, he didn't mention anything, no. He didn't say, okay, Naomi, you're going to payment or anything, but just say, so Naomi wearing a white gown, and people were crying. And in that kind of situation now, you see that it gives room for concern and worry. It makes people begin to think, now wow, this thing, is it, what are we going to do? Is it really correct? Is it not really correct? So in circumstances like that now, you now begin to think around your circle and begin to see, okay, what are those things that are not doing too well, that needs to be polished? You know, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? How can we do it? How can we not do it? You know, so that actually also caused some very major concern, because somebody like Pastor Jerry is actually someone that Naomi respects a lot. You understand? Naomi really respects Pastor Jerry a lot. And so if Pastor Jerry says anything that he says at all concerning this marriage, then the truth about the matter is, truth be told, Naomi will not play or joke with it. That is actually something she's going to take very serious. All right, people, this is where we'll be stopping this video now. We are going to actually investigate to get more information and more gist. But the truth of the cocoa is that the wedding has been postponed. Yes, it has been postponed. And they've actually given reasons why the postponement happened. We pray and wish that they try and fix some of these things, because if they can fix them very well, like from all indications here, the things are actually not very difficult. They're just the fact that the Olori should leave. They can actually make all the Oloris to leave this morning now. It's possible. The next one now is the fact that the fact that Pastor Jerry gave instruction. So that Pastor Jerry's instruction now, if they call Pastor Jerry and say, okay, Pastor Jerry, can you actually pinpoint the exact thing that made you to have this vision? If they have that one now, there's a possibility that the wedding can still continue. And if you now begin to shift the canopy, they shift the canopy now from Ooni's palace to Naomi's house, then it's also possible for the wedding to happen. All right, people, thank you very much. This is how far we'll be going on this conversation today. I've just tried to notify you that officially the wedding that we've been preparing and planning for has been cancelled, and people are actually not happy about it. All right, thank you, and see you some other time. Bye-bye.